All right, Vishal, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us in this interview experience session with you, Vishal.
Thank you so much, sir.
And just for everybody's knowledge,
Mhm.
Vishal Tripathy has been our student as part of our data science and analytics program. He is in his academic experience, he has done MSc in economics, and then after our program, after the IvyProSchool's data science analytics program, he started working with Nielsen in their modeling team, and now very recently he's gotten into Kantar, which is one of the top marketing intelligence marketing modeling company. So Vishal, you are young, but
Yes.
you have learned a lot of things, and you have worked with a couple of companies as well. So I
Yes.
want to start with with your experience in the interviews that you have faced. Specifically, let's start with Kantar. So how
Okay.
many rounds did you have with Kantar?
Sir, I have only one round of interview.
Achha, one round. Okay. And what was that round about?
It was entirely a technical round. So
Okay.
it was a 30 minutes round of interview. It
Okay.
was the vice president of my team at Kantar.
Okay.
And the interview round mostly covers with the project overview that I have done with my first organization, that was Ipsos. That is
Okay.
also one of the top and leading marketing modeling analytics companies.
Right.
And secondly, they have also asked me several questions on the marketing modeling and the other modeling techniques that I have done with Nielsen, which is my current organization. So regarding the project overview, I was being asked various questions on the various terms and techniques that we use in a marketing modeling technique, that what kind of technique we use normally. Like the techniques that we normally use in marketing modeling, that is generalized linear model and generalized non-linear model. These two are the broad set of modeling techniques. So generalized linear model basically deals with the normal or the ordinary multiple linear regression model, where we regress yi on various explanatory variables, and it is an additive model. And the generalized nonlinear model starts with the equation in a manner of exponential function. So basically, it is becoming a nonlinear model where we are taking log linear function of the model. Then we are also taking log function of the model. Then we are taking a multiplicative form of model. Then, so these are the modeling techniques that we normally use. And in the sub technique, we have used empirical Bayesian technique, like Bayesian models. So that was a very preliminary Bayesian model that I have worked with, while working with Nielsen. And apart from that, I have mostly worked on the multiplicative models and the additive models. So based on business requirements and the projects, they have asked. So, and they have also asked me more on the various concepts and the in-depth understanding of marketing modeling, how it works, what are the terms that we use while running the model, how we fine-tune the model, how do we build a model. So basically, my role was to implement and validate those model results. So in Nielsen as well as in Ipsos, we have worked on an automated modeling tool, which is completely in-house tool of Nielsen as well as Ipsos. So at the back end of which based on the project requirement, some of the projects use SAS codes, SAS programming, SAS codes, and some of the projects have also used Python codes. So, but we were not allowed to access or change the codes. That is a part of the model development team. So basically, we have to, we were given the data set, we build the data set, we manipulate the data, we done the visualizations before going on to the modeling process. And then we do the preliminary stage model, then the first stage model, second stage model, final cut model results. After doing the final cut model results, we finally build the visualizations with the help of their in-house visualization tool, which comprises of Tableau, Excel, and SAS programming codes also, some Python programming codes as well. And then we visualize the results that we have derived from the model output. And then we finally present those results and we close the project. So this was the first 10 minutes round. And after that,
so basically complete end-to-end about model, about, your experience in the past projects, but on model building, right?
Model building, yes, absolutely. Then they directly went on to the questions on statistics and econometrics. Like on statistics, they have asked me on topics like theory of probability and its distribution, then concepts of correlation analysis, then analysis of variance, then sampling distribution. Then they have also asked me on various questions on testing of hypothesis and statistical inference. So, and directly after asking this question, they shifted their questions to econometrics, where they have covered various topics like the whole topic on multiple linear regression, like on what kind of data set do we use multiple linear regression technique? What is the scenario under which we use a multiple linear regression model technique? Then what are the assumptions of a multiple linear regression model? What problems do we face if any of the assumptions of multiple linear regression model violates? What are the solutions to it? How do we detect those problems? Then what are the dummy variable concepts? How do we deal with the various dummy variables in a multiple linear regression model? Then they shift on to logistic regression. So in logistic regression, they ask that same thing, under what scenario do we use a logistic regression modeling technique? How is it different from a linear probability model? Then what is the underlying equation that we use in a logistic regression model? And how is it different from a multiple linear regression model equation? Then they have asked what are the assumptions of logistic regression. Then they have asked what is the concept of log odds ratio and odds ratio? What is the difference between them? Then they have asked me what is a confusion matrix and what are the...
And all these were asked in one round.
One round, yes, sir. One round. So she kept on asking questions one after the other. So it was a very, though it was a 30 minutes round of interview, but it could have been extended to 1 hour or more than an hour. So she kept on asking me this
rapid fire questions that you must have answered rapidly as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rapidly, because all the answers should be at the tip of your pen and at the tip of your tongue, and then only you can be able to crack an interview with such a great organization that I'll be a part of. So, so basically, they have also asked me on various concepts on confusion matrix. Then how can we check the model accuracy in a multiple linear regression model and in a logistic regression model? What are the differences in the methodology of estimating the parameters in a multiple linear regression model and a classification model, which is logistic regression model? What are the model accuracy or the performance metrics that we need to check while performing multiple linear regression model and logistic regression model? Then they have asked some basic questions on cluster analytics, that why do we do cluster analytics? So basically, as a part of unsupervised machine learning model, what is the underlying reason why for doing a cluster analytics problem? And because cluster analytics is very much required in organizations like Nielsen and Kantar for customer segmentation, then we also use some concepts like k-means, then agglomerative clustering, divisive clustering, then k-nearest neighbors. So these are all coming under unsupervised machine learning modeling techniques. So some basic questions have been asked from these areas as well. And lastly, the econometrics question that she has thrown to me was an open-end question. So basically, she asked me that what do you know about time series analytics? So it's an open-end question. So this type of question is being for for a candidate who is a very new candidate and he's a newcomer to data science industry, I would suggest him that until and unless you are very thorough with the time series concepts and their thorough understanding, you will not be able to answer those questions, because time series is a vast portion in its own. And I don't know, but she has thought that I have a very in-depth understanding of time series models and the time series analytics as well. So basically, I have started from the history of time, means why do we use time series model, under what scenario do we use a time series model, what is the difference between univariate time series model and bivariate time series model, what are its components, how do we build a time series model, what are the checkings that we need to do, like how do we convert a non-stationary data to a stationary data, what are the assumptions of a data to become a stationary one, how to transform the non-stationary data to a stationary data, then how do we build a particular time series model, like we have to check the autocorrelation function, the partial autocorrelation function. Then on the basis of that, we need to check the order of autoregressive model, moving average model, ARMA model, ARIMA model, SARIMA model. What are the in-depth understanding of those models? Then along with the equational structure as well, what is seasonality, what is cyclical fluctuation, what is the difference between the various components of time series model, how do we differ, how can we differ them from each other, then how can we check the model accuracy in a time series model. So I was basically, the interview was such that I was continuing with the concepts of time series and trying to make her convinced, but she paused me in the between because she felt that I was exceeding the the requirement. Actually, I was going in such a depth of time series that she had paused me and she told me that it is sufficient.
I'm sure. So in one interview, Vishal, you were saying that they cover the entire data science part of this, the data world, right?
Yes,
in
one session. Yes.
So let me ask you this, you covered the entire, if I were to say the entire course curriculum of the machine learning model, machine learning side, supervised, and everything you covered, right?
Yes, so, predictive modeling as well.
Predictive modeling as well. You covered everything. So let's say if you have to give, 3 to 5 very important tips to a young aspirant preparing for a similar job that are there in IvyProSchool, what tips would you give?
Yes.
From an interview perspective, interview preparation perspective.
Okay, sure. So the tips that I would like to share with the Ivy Professional School students is, first of all, I would categorize the students into 2 parts. One who is, 3 parts. One who is coming from core IT background, one who is coming from non-IT as well as non-statistics or non-economics background, and the other bucket is the students who are coming from economics or statistics background. So the IT students who are coming from core IT background, from their end, they know C, C++, Java, then R, Python, SQL, Excel. They all know these tools, and it will be a cup of tea for them to learn these softwares. So software is actually what I have felt in my 4.3 years of career in data science, that softwares are just a backup or a guide in order to push you to climb the ladder in a data science career. But the main thing that gives you the support or acts as a backbone is your subject understanding. The more you understand your subject well, and the depth of concept you have for your subjects that you have studied in graduation or in masters or even with the Ivy Professional School, the better it will be for you to crack the interviews with any organization, whether it's for the banking sector, whether it's for the non-banking sector or like retail sector, or whether it's for pharmaceutical sector. And for the students who are coming from non-IT and non-economics or non-statistics background, they need to work very hard because they have to build a theoretical understanding of economics, statistics, and mathematics, as well as they need to upgrade themselves with the softwares and the courses that is being taught at Ivy Professional School.
What is easier for them, the software side or the econometric side? For these non-IT, non-eco-math stat students?
I would say that the depends on the intake capacity of those students. Like for few students, in my knowledge, I would like to share my knowledge. For few students, they try to grasp the theoretical understanding of statistics, econometrics, economics, or mathematics easily as compared to the software knowledge or understanding. And for some of the students, it is vice versa as well. So it depends completely on their intake capacity.
But you are suggesting that they should at least make a priority to learn, to become very, very good in at least one of the two tracks, either the software or econometric.
Absolutely. But if an aspirant is very much, so I would like to segregate the career in data science. That one is the data analytics course, means career, where a candidate requires to have basic knowledge or understanding in statistics or econometrics, very basic, very, very basic, or preliminary level. And they need to focus mainly on advanced Excel, SQL, and any of the visualization tools, like it can be Tableau or it can be Power BI, anything. And some basics of R or Python programming language course. It is better to have. It's not that they need to have it as a mandatory one, but it is better to have it. But if a candidate is aspiring to become a proper data scientist or a proper modeling analyst, like me, that I am into core modeling or core data science background, where in-depth understanding of statistics, econometrics, economics, and mathematics, these four subjects needs to be understood in a much more thorough and in a deeper manner. So the candidate, in order to choose a career in data science, he or she has to decide that in which field he or she wants to go, whether she or she wants to go in analytics field or core data science field.
That makes a lot of sense. And nowadays, we also have something called as full stack data scientist. So wherein we have seen that there are people who are building models, who are good in building models, but don't know how to deploy that model on an app or in a web portal. So then, there you have full stack data scientists, machine ML ops guys who know how to deploy the models on cloud infrastructure and so forth. So that is also something that we have added in the module, in our course, data science course recently, and which is, I think, is very, very high in demand as well. Let me ask you this question, Vishal. You have, a very good, solid understanding of what to expect in the interviews, what questions are asked in a data science interview, and you have also segregated, what skills are required in data analytics and data science. But let me understand, you did a program and you took some time to do the program. You took like more than a year to do the program because you were working as well in parallel in I think in Ipsos, and you did the program in parallel, right? So how did you manage your time, and how did you manage your learning journey? And if there are any tips that you would like to give to our current IvyProSchool students who are pursuing this?
Yes. So basically, I have split my time schedule in two parts. One is my learning and developing or upgrading my skills, and another part is applying those skills in my current job profile or job role.
Okay.
So basically, whatever skills, knowledge, and expertise that I have acquired by doing the course with Ivy Professional School, it has helped me a lot to climb the ladder in the data science career, whether it is with Financial Fabric, because at that time I was working with Financial Fabric. It is a startup company which is based out at Kolkata. So I was working with that organization while I was a part of this program. So this program has helped me a lot to upgrade my skills, especially in Excel, where you were being my trainer and instructor. And serially, I have done the SQL program. Then, and yes, one more thing I would say to the data aspirants of this program, always go by the sequence. First, you need to learn what type of data, what is the data world all about, what kind of data do we deal on a daily basis, how to manage those data, how do we manipulate the data, how do we build preliminary visualization like using Excel, and how do we manipulate data or manage the data in a particular database management system, which is SQL. Then a student who is very much into aspiring to go into modeling, like statistical modeling or machine learning modeling, then he or she should take up R or Python as their next course. Then after they can do the visualization and end the course. But because I have seen myself to go in this manner, and that has helped me a lot because I was more into modeling for the last 4.3 years in my data science career. So I have made up my time schedule and preparation schedule in this manner. First is Excel, then SQL, then R, then Python, then VBA, then Tableau, then Power BI, in this manner. Okay. So that has helped me a lot to apply those modeling concepts in financial fabric as well as in Nielsen as well, because I got various opportunities to work on the models, apply my knowledge and expertise with financial fabric as well as with Nielsen. Now, I think I'll be contributing much more in Kantar as well.
Okay.
And apart from that, one more very useful tip I would like to give to the data science aspirant is do focus and determine on what you are doing, how you are doing, and what output you are getting.
Okay.
This tip is very important. Why and how? Until and unless the why strikes into your mind, how will not come into play.
Okay.
Yes.
Give me an example of this, what you just said, using
Yes,
an
yes.
project that you might have done as part of the course or otherwise.
Yes. So, which example? Means, are you talking about this?
Like
how?
why and how, give me an
Yes,
example.
yes. So, let me give you an example let me share you example with Kantar or Nielsen. Both are almost same organizations. So when they have asked me about the project overview or the statistics or machine learning concepts they have been asking in the interview, so I made up my mind that how am I going to place myself in an interview so that I can be able to convince the interviewer that why is how am I going to fit myself in this particular role that I am given for. Then I have started answering their questions. Then the kind of questions they have asked me and based on various scenarios, based on various data sets they were showing me in the interview questions. Then I made up my mind that why are we opting a particular modeling technique? Let me specify this answer. Yeah. Why are we opting a particular modeling technique or machine learning modeling technique rather, in order to get the business outcome or in order to get the final outcomes, in order to get some, in order to solve the various complex business problems or business statements, or the objective in order to contribute to the company's profit portfolio. So this how and why played a very important.
So that question is always there, why use a particular technique in a particular business situation? Why use a particular tool in a particular situation? Because if you are not able to answer that, and if you just cram it without understanding, why it is important to use,
it becomes mechanical.
Yeah. So there should always be a comparative understanding of why should we not use logistic regression here, and why should we use decision tree, or why should we use random forest, or any other technique, or any other tool for that. I mean, why should we actually use visualization in this case? Why not do visualization using using Python only, and why use visualization using Power BI? As simple as that, right? I mean, so yeah, definitely that why is very important, and then the how comes. Because if you
Right.
understand why, then it, the interviewer gets a confidence that, okay, you, even if you lack a little bit in the how part, you will learn it because you're
Absolutely.
kind of clear. Very good.
Yes.
One more question I had,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the last or maybe the second last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you interested Ivy as it this is a choice to
Mm-hmm.
make your career in the world of data science.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Did you get a return on your investment of the time that you spent in Ivy's program?
Absolutely, sir. Because the time that I have invested in Ivy, because my course ended in the first week of September, my last topic, which was Tableau, which was taken by Shani ma'am. And after just 1 week after that, I got the call from Nielsen to sit for the 2 rounds of interview in 2 consecutive weeks. And I have cleared those 2 rounds of interview in a very smooth and efficient manner. And I have the hike that I have got from Financial Fabric to Nielsen after completing the course, because by that time the course was completed. So it was almost a double hike.
Okay, 100%.
100%, almost 100%, almost.
Good job there.
And then just after 1 year, in 2022, in the same month, in the month of September only, I interviewed at Kantar. There also, I have got a hike of, again, like around 100%. It's double.
Well, good for you. I mean, it's a compounding 100% there. Yeah, 100% more
Yes.
than that. Very good. I mean, very good. So it's a demand cycle also that is going on in the industry, which you kind of capture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And not only this, like on my on the basis of my knowledge on theoretical understanding and some parts of understanding on softwares and tools, I have also got a special increment, which is known as merit increment from Nielsen just after 8 months of my completion of job service. So I have got that also. On the basis of that also, Kantar has given me a very good increment or a hike. Almost it's like 100%.
Very good job, Vishal. Very good job. So I mean, it's also the hard work and the smart work that you put across, right?
Smart work, I don't know how to rate myself on the basis of smart work, but hard work, yes, absolutely. For my, as a student or as a data science professional, I have given 80% of weightage to hard work and 20% to smart work.
Good, very good. How many hours you used to spend in the program per week generally?
I have spent on average around 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours. But you took a lot more time. So generally, we recommend people to spend around 12 to 15 hours in a week to do the program at least. But since you stretched it to like a year or so, so that is okay. So Vishal, great. I mean, just to end the discussion, healthy discussion that you had with I had with you, I want to understand, maybe some very easy to remember tips for for any data science aspirant in Ivy that you think because you interacted with a lot of other Ivy students as well in your batch that one must follow. Maybe one tip, maybe two tips, something very simple that everybody must be doing that you did.
Very simple tips. On the basis of that, I would rather highlight on some of the very specific tips, like thorough. They should invest more time on building up their thorough understanding on the subjects they have studied, whatever subjects they are coming from, whether it's economic statistics or mathematics background, or whether it's BTech background, or whether it's non-BTech, non-economic statistics background, whatever background they're coming from, they should be very clear on their subject-oriented knowledge first. Secondly, whatever skills they are building in order to start their career as a data science analyst or a data science professional, they should be really very much clear about that. Means, why are they opting this course? why are they investing a particular amount of money, and what return they would get, and how much time they would invest in order to upgrade their skills.
Okay.
So this is these skills, and lastly and most importantly, they should have a complete focus and determination on the roles and responsibilities that they would be taking up as a data science professional in any sector, whether it's pharmaceutical, whether it's retail, or whether it's banking, because in the past 3 to 4 months, I have been interviewed with lots of companies. Means I have given almost 12 interviews, including
And interviews in different domains.
Different domains. Means out of those 12 interviews, 5 of them were from banking domains, including HSBC. So I have interviewed with them. Even I have interviewed with HSBC Poland as well. So it is completely outside India. So I have faced the interview which were being taken by foreign interviewers who are not Indians, or not like they are not belonging from Calcutta. They don't know how the students of Calcutta or India psychology, how they works. So I have interviewed with them as well. I have given, so it was a roller coaster journey of interviews for the past 3 to 4 months. But I have experienced and gained a lot from the interviews, that in what domain, what kind of questions they asked, whether it's general or generic questions or specific question, and their thorough understanding of this subject, as well as backed by the tools and softwares.
Makes sense. A very, very good tip, Vishal. So just to summarize your discussion, you said at the beginning that the Kantar interviews contained essentially the complete model development phase of all the projects, or maybe cover some of the key projects that you must have highlighted in your resume. They went into the details of statistics and predictive modeling and machine learning models as well. They focus a lot on why are you using a particular model, in which situation, and why are you using that particular model, or why not the model. So they focused on that part as well. And as you mentioned that, they went into the details of predictive modeling and machine learning there. And then you gave some tips on that how should you spend some time, how should you split your time when you're doing the program. And you give an important tip that focus on the domain understanding of how machine learning and how data science concepts can be used in different techniques.
Absolutely.
You also mentioned that softwares are important, but softwares are to back up your conceptual understanding. So focus a lot on conceptual understanding. And you also said that, people with different backgrounds, say for example, somebody coming from econometrics background, they should definitely have a very strong understanding of econometrics, supported by the software tools like Python and SQL and Excel and Power BI and Tableau. That somebody is coming from BTech background, then of course for them to learn softwares would be easier. So they should also try and focus on econometrics concepts quite thoroughly. And somebody who's coming from non-BTech and non-ecomath stats background, they have to spend more time and effort, but they can learn. But they have to be. Then they should decide their track. Whether they want to focus more on the data analytics side, where they will focus more on the software tools, or they want to actually go into the pure data science role. Then they have to actually learn a lot of statistics and some basic maths as well, and go into it. And then finally, you gave a very good tip on sequencing your program modules. And at IvyProSchool, we give that flexibility for people to choose their module. So you said that start with tools like Excel, SQL, then so that you understand about the data and so forth, and then you go into statistics, and then go into predictive modeling, then machine learning using R or Python, and then towards the end do visualization using Power BI or Tableau. So that way, that becomes like a good core learning journey, as you said, would make sense to everybody. So Vishal, thanks a lot for joining me today, and thanks a lot for all your useful tips, and all the best for your new job. And congratulations for getting 100% plus 100% increment in less than 12 months time after doing the program. We are proud of students like you, and also I am very happy about your future, and I'm sure you will do great, and all the best. Thank you, Vishal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.